Mr. M.S. Unnikrishnan, the MD of Thermax, joins us right now to speak about his set of expectations. Good to have you, Mr. Unnikrishnan. Thanks so much for joining in. I mean, simple question. What are the main expectations for the capital goods space from the budget?
Well, let me start out with, as the industry person and an Indian, that I would expect the finance minister to be coming out with a control in fiscal prudency to ensure that we are able to contain all the freebies and cut down on the subsidies. Because I'm expecting that in the coming year, there will be an increase in the petroleum prices followed by coal price increase. So our import bill is going to be going up. Unless we contain our expenses, we'll be having a fiscal deficit which is unmanageable, which will take India on the brim of a economic difficulty. So the first part that I would expect as an Indian is that let there be a prudency in the budget, point number one. Second is coming back as a person in the industry representing capital goods industry, our expectation is that we need to be withdrawing the duty exemption given to the mega power projects, which is an exchequer loss as well as job loss in the country. It is recommended by Arun Maira committee that we should be imposing 14% duty, and the committee of secretaries have recommended through the cabinet for imposition of a 19% duty on the power equipment import, and I'm expecting the finance minister will include that in the current budget. Apart from that, there should be sufficient support for investment in the country, because investment in the country is retarding, which is indicated in the manufacturing GDP reduction and virtually come to a naught, and any further retardation in investment in the manufacturing sector is going to be detrimental for the country. So I would have expectation from the finance minister to increase everything in terms of commitment in the port sector, road sector, rail sector, and also larger industries with the private participation in steel, and also in areas where the industry will see a positivity from the government that they really mean increasing in investment of the industry.
Mr. Unnikrishnan, by when do you see any concrete steps taken towards implementation of the import duty?
Well, if one were to go through the papers prepared by the cabinet committee, one doesn't have to be having a cabinet approval itself. So I would expect that it can be done without even a cabinet approval. It's only a notification needed, but my expectation is the finance minister includes that in the current budget itself. Because in any case, he is interested in mopping up more money in terms of tax and duties as collection for the government, for increasing the revenue of the government. And this is another way available for him to be increasing the revenue collection for the government of India. So I would expect that to be included in the current budget itself.
Will the edge again be lost by Indian companies if Chinese companies set up base here, as many have intended to do?
Well, one should be prepared to be facing competition if it is an equal one. Importing an equipment from China, which means they'll be having all the advantages given by the country. So if they are going to be setting up a manufacturing facility in India, how can I object to that? I would welcome that. If there is an even competition of Chinese, they coming and setting up manufacturing facility utilizing Indian labor and Indian expenses and Indian infrastructure, certainly we are willing to be competing against them. So we are not against that one. Certainly we are against importing any equipment of such critical nature from outside the country.
Why, give us a sense of why the issue with imports is there, as even some private Indian companies have been able to offer rates that are extremely competitive.
I would desist from commenting on the price opening of NTPC as a benchmark for what's going to happen in the power equipment industry. But certainly every Indian company had been able to contain the costing, and we will be able to offer a very competitive price for the Indian industry. Now, if you compare that to the Chinese import, it is a currency advantage they have, number one. Second is the infrastructure advantage they have, and they are in the same manufacturer for the past maybe 18 to 20 years. The advantage available in industry for 20 years is not available in the incubating in the industry. These are the reasons for it. So I would say that Indian prices are already under control. It is not remaining the way it used to be maybe 2 years back. Currently one is talking about a competitive range of pricing for power equipments for the Indian manufacturing also.